How would that be seen?
Don't talk about it. How are you still alive? That is foggy.
Yeah, I mean, I was shot in like a non-vital area. You know, I was just really sleepy that day. I took a nap. You know, when you thought that Foggy died, it was actually that he was actually taking a nap, and that's what I was doing. So that's how I survived. I just took a nap.
Wow, look at that. David.
Yes.
You're back here at the DEP Talk.
Yep.
Daredevil Born Again. You're both fans of the first original seasons of Netflix.
Yeah, big fans.
Netflix production, indeed.
Yeah, I've seen them all too. I think they're great. They get better each time.
Yeah.
So now we've had 6 years since the ending of season 3. Pretty crazy to think. So we're going to go into spoiler discussions. And we already, right off the bat, spoiled something for you. So we're sorry about that. But then again...
Why are you doing a discussion about the show without having seen the show, unless you don't care? It's not, this is on you, sorry.
You clicked because you saw spoilers, and here we go. And yes, this was already seen in the leaked set pictures.
Yeah, those are crazy. It's pretty nuts that we didn't that they didn't reveal who died in that scene. We only saw like some of the behind the scenes photos, which makes me think that it could have been intentional to like build hype for the show, because it was very interesting. But very, very, very good that they added those scenes. Like the whole beginning section just added so much.
Good that you mentioned that, because let's start from there. Sure. Let's start from what you heard from the original version of Born Again when it was announced 2 years ago at this point at D23 Disney. And we didn't know if we were going to ever get more Daredevil with Charlie Cox or Vincent D'Onofrio or any of their defenders. So when this was announced, what do you guys think of that?
I actually, this is really funny. I didn't end up watching the Marvel Netflix shows until like a few months after the announcement of Born Again happening. Just one day, I just decided, because I am a big MCU fan, watched the movies and stuff. I just decided one day to just give the Netflix shows a try. Started with Daredevil, and like from like the first 10 minutes of the first episode, I'm just realizing, oh my god, I'm in for something different here. Like the like how you see the confession where he's like, forgive me, Father, for what I'm about to do, and then like he just breaks a guy's legs and stuff. It's so cool. So for me, it was just like, oh cool, that Netflix show that people really, or like the whole Daredevil like Defenders thing. I'd heard about him, you know, that they made a Luke Cage show, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, all those shows. I was like, okay, cool, they're bringing Daredevil back at least, you know. But there was a lot of confusion about, and no clear message of, okay, is this a season 4, a continuation, like, or is it just completely new? And they were bringing back the same actors and everything. But it was a bit confusing at first, but obviously I was very excited to hear that they were coming back and making like a whole 18 episodes.
That's right. That's what they said. 18 episodes. I'll bring it to you then, David. What was your reaction to this?
Gosh. I think it was worry at first, just because everyone's reaction was, well, Disney usually like tone stuff down because of their like what's the right word? Not marketing, but they're like image, right? And therefore, like they usually don't like go in that direction. Although, if you know how cinema works in film and industry, like you have subsidiary like branding. Like, you know, we could be Death Films but be owned by Disney technically, but we're allowed to go R-rated with our things because we're like, you know, technically under the umbrella of Disney if you think about it. But you know, this is the same way the Alien movies are technically under the, you know, which is just funny to think. But the fact, but because it was like so like MCU-ish. But after that, it was kind of a feeling of like a little bit of, okay, let's hope for the best. There was ups and downs. Not all the cast was confirmed to come back, and that was the big thing. Like the only ones we really had was the forerunners were Vincent and Charlie. Yeah. But and then people were talking like, oh, will we get Frank Castle again? Maybe Elektra, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, now we know yes and no to some of those. Yeah. And then eventually, obviously, everyone wanted to know what was Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. And eventually, you know, whatever, how much into the production of it and with everything that happened around a lot of production.
Great segue over into that, actually, because this show was originally pitched to not be a continuation of the Netflix series.
Baffling. Weird.
A baffling choice, from the studio executives, probably saying, let's start it over again. Let's introduce Matt one more time, and let's keep it in the same tone as the previous Disney Plus series. So
Weird.
Hawkeye
It makes no sense because the first 3 seasons were like peak Marvel television.
Yeah.
So good.
yeah, well, they
What-
thought
why
it was
would
too
they
dark.
want to
They thought probably that it doesn't fit into our image here,
Very
and
silly.
we want to start from a fresh point of view, and let's have a more fun, lighthearted Daredevil that we saw in She-Hulk as a test run to like let's see how people react to this. And to their Daredevil episode itself was a positive reaction because I think people were just happy to see him again, and he was really fun in the tone of the episode. And even Charlie Cox said, "I have to just step the bar up to fit into what this
that's
show
how it
is."
works.
And it worked well. Like the Happy Times of Matt, sure,
super good.
happy with it. But if we're gonna get an 18 episode show that has a very, very strong loyal fan base, this was bound to get a backlash. So if we're gonna have a court kind of show about him not deciding to be a vigilante until episode 4, and paralleling that with Mayor Fisk, no Karen, no Foggy, new cast, let's start fresh, like I said. But then they realized this in the middle of production, at least Kevin Feige did, as he was watching the playback of the episodes. They shot 6 episodes. They didn't have the same actress as Vanessa either.
So they
Yeah,
had
someone-
for at first
Sandrine Holt was cast as Vanessa. Yeah.
for a scheduling conflict, I believe.
Yep, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And Foggy was going to be killed off screen. Just mentioned as him passing.
Unbelievable. He's such an important
what
character
the
to even if they wanted to just do like a reboot, such an important character to Matt and everything, like not having him on screen.
So you could say it's maybe multiverse, maybe it's soft. Who knows? It could be whatever you want it to be. And that would anger a lot of people. And Feige rightfully realized this, and Charlie and Vincent were already advocating against this during the filming of the show. But they were like just happy to get their jobs back and doing the best with the material they were given. So the original showrunners were fired in the middle of the production.
Yeah.
They brought in 2 new guys, and these new guys, they wrote a whole new pilot episode
Makes sense.
and 2 finale episodes, and then they had to refilm a lot of things to stitch
Readjust
together.
It was made.
Yeah, because contracts and things like that, budget, you cannot reshoot everything. So they had to adjust the beginning of the show so it would make sense for the rest of it, and then adjust again at the end. And then telling us that season 2 of this is going to be completely our vision that we want.
Which is why, like, as a side note, I think like there's definitely somebody that's willing to give some good. I am genuinely willing to give some like patience with this season, even if it doesn't really live up to some level of expectations because of what's to come. Although I am happy with the 2 we've seen so far of cinematography wise, acting, all that jazz. But that doesn't mean I won't still be critical because I honestly I will be, because it's still unfair to say whoopsie, we messed up again. Kind of the MTU's tagline right now is whoopsie, wait until we fix it. It's like I'm tired of waiting for you to fix it. You can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
It becomes exhausting.
For me, the first 2 episodes, like they were for the most part, I was very, very happy with them.
Yeah.
The feeling is different. It's different compared to the original 3 seasons. But the cinematography, like you said, was amazing. The fight scenes, for the most part, were really well done. I loved the first like the big like face off with Bullseye in the first few minutes. Everything like that. The color grading, really boring in my opinion.
I'm happy.
Like really gray and like
Fascinating.
dark and everything. When compared to say the Daredevil of the Netflix shows, where the colors were so striking and so.
Not wrong.
There
Colorful.
was that much popping.
There were more contrast in the image. There's more contrast.
Much more contrast. I grew so accustomed to that view of the shows. I loved like the high contrast and everything, like how they made the colors pop and made it such a unique vision for the MCU.
Fascinating.
So I really like that. I feel like the show now is more like it fits in better with the MCU, I suppose. And also the change in aspect ratio from 16:9. It was more like a television.
Prestige television, as it is,
Yeah, exactly. And where now it's which aspect ratio is it right now? Like
Well, it's the widescreen anamorphic lenses.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I mean, you do get to utilize it in a very playful way when he's.
That was really cool. I wish they utilize. We're probably gonna see that more. With this change in aspect ratio. That was a really cool moment. I am in denial about Foggy being dead.
Just wait until the announcement we got like this week about that.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming back. Some say, that Karen and Foggy are coming back for season 2.
Yeah.
Some are saying they're going to be flashbacks or, whatever. I really, really, really hope that he's not dead. Because while the scene itself where Foggy was shot, because sadly I'd been spoiled by the stupid internet. I was spoiled just mere hours before I watched the episode.
A lot of people do that.
But it is what it is. I knew it was coming. It still really hurt because Foggy was and still is one of my favorite characters of the original show.
It's you.
He's me. I mean, we look so similar. Like it's us.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so sad to see him die because he was such a cool character in the original shows.
But how did that make you feel?
It made me feel very, very sad and also a bit disappointed, if I'm going to be honest, just how he just died so quickly. Just immediately in the first 5 minutes, you bring him back finally after 6 years and he's gone just like that. I understand why. I understand it's because we need to see Matt at his absolutely lowest point, and you finally see him break his code by pushing or letting go. Letting go Bullseye.
Definitely push. Definitely. It was attempted murder.
Absolutely. And that's you understand why. This is finally the point where he reaches the breaking point where his best friend passes away for no discernible reason.
No time to cool off. It's just it's in the moment. So there was no time to cool off to think. It's just action.
Absolutely. It was just instinctual. Yeah. And that, to me, that was a powerful moment.
100%.
Even though Bullseye did survive, and he's obviously going to come back later on.
It's confirmed that he's going to be.
Yeah. There's prison scenes of him.
Amazing moment. I just am very sad that Foggy was brought back just to be killed immediately. Unless he is coming. I mean, he is coming back, but we'll see in which way. If it is flashbacks, or if I've seen some theorize that he might be in witness protection, or or Matt might be driven to resurrect him like they did Elektra. I don't know about that. That'd be
right.
David, tell us what you thought about this whole intro setup.
Before you, or okay, because I want you to talk about it too.
Yeah. I'll talk about it after you.
Okay, sure.
So there's a few parts to me in this thing. So what Dennis said is so since we knew that Karen and Foggy weren't really meant to be part of the show, then they finally said, no, we're bringing them back. And then you bring them back in the first episode, you go bang one and the other one fucked off. You go, so you brought them back just to tell me, look, fine, happy, and then just to get rid of them almost. There's this feeling that you can't...
And then replace them with characters that are almost completely similar. This new lawyer character. I know it's only been 2 episodes, but I feel like nothing for this new lawyer character. I can't even remember her name. She's kind of cool. She is kind of cool, how we set Matt up with this psychiatrist lady, and their relationship is building. That's nice. But it hasn't really grabbed me. Sherry as well, the other guy, he's not really grabbing me either. It feels like they're just they're just filling
he's new Foggy and she's new
Foggy,
Karen.
new Karen, or new Mahoney,
He's definitely
it just feels kind of empty. Those characters feel empty at the moment because in the first 2 episodes of the Netflix show, you had already gotten such a strong view of both Karen and Foggy. The first 2 episodes of this season, these 2 new characters just feel like empty caricatures, or not caricatures. That's the wrong way of putting it, but just empty. These are the same characters. They fulfill the same purposes, but we don't have any of the heart and soul of what brought Karen and Foggy to life. So that I feel is a little. Yeah, but do continue. That's just my opinion.
Fair. It's outside of that, the choice to oh god, it comes with a few layers of what you've done here from a story progression and build up, and especially acknowledging that everything that came before and all. So they're committing to that. Outside of the fact that yes, individually as a scene and all that stuff, I like it because of the push of character and all that stuff. I, for example, dislike the idea that we're doing this at this point within the superhero genre, tired trope of I'm retiring, and a lot of people feel and I kind of can't pretend to agree that, especially with the 3rd season being a little bit of Matt kind of giving up that mantle again. Now we're doing it right afterwards again is a little exhausting. And the rumor mill is kind of out there that we're up until episode 5 or 6 when he finally dawns it again. I'm like, god damn, really? That's gonna be kind of suck. Which will be the remnant of the old script and storyline, which again, not really a good thing, but kind of want to understand that it happened, but honestly, if he something goes, you know what, you're Marvel, you got the money, not gonna lie to you, just throw in the trash, say, sorry boys, here's your paycheck, let's do it again, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, they chose to call it Born Again intentionally. It's a comic run that already exists. I've been careful not to look at it too carefully to not still spoil myself for the show, because I'd like to still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But for, I guess, spoilers for the comics in case, in the Born Again storyline, guess who's supposed to die? Karen. So here they did a switcheroo and killed Foggy instead of Karen. Why does Karen die? The simple answer is, if we're doing so much, obviously, religious imagery, and if Matt's supposed to be like, Jesus on the cross, also Karen in the comics was used to do sex work, aka she's like the prostitute to Jesus. There was a whole thing, I forget the character's name in the book. So she was supposed to be like that figurehead that dies, kind of the Mary almost as well. So there was, building up the whole biblical imagery and echoes the thematics of the show. And here they want to do a twisteroo and kill Foggy instead of Karen. There's also maybe icing the girlfriend is a bit of a typical thing that happens a bit too much in media, so let's flip it around as the friend that dies instead. So there's a few reasons to it there, kind of. And like you mentioned, if they're gonna make Foggy die off screen anyway, I might as well show it.
That's what I was gonna say, that this is a tough one because it is a choice already being made from above, and the filmmakers have to adjust to that. And what did they do? And I think that considering the circumstances, they did a very, very good job.
Sure.
Getting you into the feel of New York, creating the whole ambience and atmosphere of it, and then instantly feeling the dynamic between the friends again. But you do sense this dread kind of looming a little bit in the background. Something's wrong. And then Bullseye comes in and everything goes down, and you get the long take action scene, and he's in the suit, the theme song. Imagine not having any of that as an opening.
Yeah, no, insane.
And you're starting with him already like on the low point. You need to see it so you feel it, even if you're against the choice.
Him against the window picking up the memorial for Foggy would have been the first thing you see. You'd be like, what? What do you mean?
Right.
Imagine that's the way it would have started. That would have been actually insane.
Yeah, that would have made me even more upset.
No, that would have been actually riots. Like, no, this is trash. Like, people's reaction, and honestly, would have been fair enough.
Fisk already mayor, and just alluding to a past.
That it would have been insane.
Like that whole dining, we're gonna get to it later, but the whole dining scene when they talk, that's also the whole first episode is filmed by the new team.
Yeah.
The whole first episode.
Like you said,
completely.
Yeah.
So I am with you that it's very tough to see Karen and Foggy be written out, so it makes sense for the rest of the series to work. But then again, I think the filmmakers are very, very, very aware of this and are trying to already tell you that they're back in the next season for a reason. So that fans go, don't worry, we're handling this as best we can.
The way you set up the
best we can.
Here, the only character that can come back and on a permanent stasis is obviously Karen because she's alive.
Yeah.
I don't understand genuinely how you plan to reintroduce Foggy into the series without having two problems. One, if it's just flashbacks, I'm a little tired of that. And two, if you're bringing him back, then it feels pointless to have killed him. It's a thing where it's exhausting. And I know comic books are that, but it is that point when if it isn't a main thematic, which you can have a show, which the main theme could be revival, which is fine, and especially with Daredevil, Jesus, all that stuff, you could argue that, but it feels exhausting. It'd be that feeling of like you brought him in to kill him, to then be like, whoopsie, the fans want him back. So because the original show had to still be kept, we had to. But now we're bringing him back as you want him to. It's just this feeling of like, decide what you're doing.
Right. Like
because now you're giving everyone, the show, the characters, and the audience whiplash unnecessarily.
And I know that. I know that it would cheapen the impact of what happened in the first episode. Yeah. But like I said, I am in denial. Like
in denial.
I'm trying not to let it get me down too much but I was after seeing the end of season 3 of Daredevil, and seeing them all together as one team, making Murdoch, Murdoch, Nelson, and Page, and just seeing them all together, like I felt so hopeful. It was so wonderful, to see that they were finally working together. Things were finally working out for them. I was excited to see their whole dynamic of all three of them working together at the lawyer firm and everything. Mm-hmm. And now we may never get that. We might get it as in flashbacks or whatever. But I don't know. It just really, really made me sad that we never got that. We only got like the hint of it in the first 5 minutes of the first episode of Born Again, And I'm sad that we never got to see that into fruition.
That is fair.
I mean, I know that in the timeline, I think it's been 10 years since season 3.
No, it's 6 years. So it's like according to how many seasons yet also like from the years from season 3.
Yeah, so
to
obviously
now.
in 6 years they've been together and have been doing stuff together. So obviously we're most likely going to get flashbacks of what happened during those 6 years or whatever.
Echo establishes that Kingpin wasn't blipped. He was still doing his crime things.
Yeah.
And the theory that I've been thinking about, could Vanessa have been blipped as to explain that he could break his code against Matt for the whole, I will go after your wife if you try to go after me or anyone else.
Right. Maybe, who
kind
knows?
of thing. So maybe.
Yeah. We'll see, I guess.
Trying to make that make sense. And we also know that Matt was around during the blip. We don't know if Karen and Foggy were. They probably were.
I think they were.
So I also think Vanessa was personally.
You think so?
I think, yeah. I for the sake of easing it, that makes sense.
Then let's get into that part of the series.
Yes.
Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Good intro for him.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I love how he's been reintroduced. I feel like he's really trying to, or I don't know if I really believe that he's trying to become a better man or whatever. Or I think he is. I think he is actually trying to become the mayor, to try to figure something out with the
To work within the system. instead.
the system this time
And Matt does the same. By being a lawyer.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly. They're both
repressing the personality thing.
Yeah, trying to repress their true personalities, but like the way that Matt was like begging for them, not the thugs that were beating him up, begging for them not to do this, and then he lets the devil out. That was a fucking epic scene. And in the ending of the first episode where he was looking up at Kingpin, and you could see the like red flashes of light, the devil coming back.
That was good.
That was really
That
good.
was really good.
But Wilson Fisk, like, what I love is that he is really trying to be restrained, and you can see, when he's talking to the old man at the funeral, you can just tell that he's holding back, that he wants to pick this guy up and crush his head or
That
something.
cop was like not having it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't buy it, Mr. Fisk.
No, exactly, which is so cool to see that people are standing up to him and such, and he is such an unpredictable, terrifying character that you just do not know when and how he would snap. Because obviously, I feel like he's going to snap eventually. He is going to be pushed along eventually. I'm just looking forward to seeing how it happens, because it's going to be so much unpredictable to know when and how. But love what they're doing with Fisk. His new team of like lackeys, they're interesting. I like the social media guy, or.
Oh, yeah,
He's
he is
really
kind of
smarmy and annoying, but like, and I think he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course.
okay,
Of course.
And then he's got this other campaign
The
staff
British guy?
Yeah, he's like he's
Weird new Wesley.
The new Wesley.
weird new Wesley, but not as cool at all. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so
Yeah, no,
we're
he
gonna have
just
to
seems evil for evil's sake, which to be fair, not to be rude, but so did Wesley. He was evil for weird. We never really knew much about Wesley. And I was like, oh my god, it's like, yeah, they clearly had a weird friendship, but we never really got to develop him more past his death. So I'm just saying it, I'm calling it how it is.
I thought the Wesley relationship was amazing.
Sure, but it was
how,
never
how
really-
he was so thankful for him.
Sure, I agree, but it was that feeling of like, cool, they had this relationship that's never explained, it just is, and it's like, sure, how did this guy that's so emotionally stunted get this a simp employer for him, and now he's dead, and now so is the new British guy, so it's like not much of a difference, so like, just saying, fair is fair.
Right.
Love Wesley, but then give this guy just as much credit for now, because we never really knew why Wesley fucking adored this man at his feet and believed in him and wanted him to, get with Vanessa and see him happy. We don't know. We don't know.
And we gotta mention the BB report. Really cool inclusion. I think it's a really cool inclusion.
It is. I think so too. You know why? Because it does create this character of New York.
Yes,
the people's reactions.
Yeah, New York is such a character in itself. You really have to be there yourself to see just how big it is and how moving it is. And I think that the BB report does that very well, of just focusing in on the everyman, and getting the lay of the land of what regular everyday citizens believe and think.
Indeed.
Really cool that it's been Ulrich's niece.
Yes.
That was a very interesting detail that that
Soon
I'm
as she
looking
said it,
forward to seeing.
And then she gets to interview Fisk, and he's like, I knew your uncle.
Yeah, that was
fucking kill that
real.
bug.
That was scary. That was scary.
Yeah.
Very good. Very much intrigued by the whole aspect of becoming a mayor. I really like that. There's a lot of potential of strings you can pull. It's fantastic.
One thing that I think is it went by so quickly. How he goes from I'm gonna try to become mayor, and then you have like one scene of him at a debate, and then boom, he's suddenly mayor. I feel like they could have dragged that campaign out even longer if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I felt like it was very very quick. So I don't know if I truly buy like the whole thing, because obviously there are a lot of people that are rejoicing, a lot of people that really hate Fisk, which of course it's politics, and you could absolutely draw parallels to the real world, how it's happening right now, how a lot of people will vote for a guy who has done terrible things in the past, but they just don't care because he tells it like it is.
He
and blah,
gets
blah,
shit
blah.
done.
And that's what James Gandolfini says, the guy. Like he says, I like that guy, and
Honestly, you get shit done.
That's exactly it. And you were saying, David was telling me earlier that you think that's...
There's an interesting pair. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a secret Fisk son. If they want to go that deep, like actually his blood, or if they're gonna go for like a reflection of Fisk with him, because not to be rude, but like just think of it from a casting perspective, getting someone that like the guy reminds you of a young Fisk, like the kid. So that's why a piece of me feels like there's a parallel there, especially with Fisk asking that whole question of like, you have kids? No, you. Oh, I try to mentor someone, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So now you're putting you again in a position where there's a young person also directly looking at you as a reflectant. So I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of ends up being a thing. If not, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Is what I'm trying to say. So I just thought of that one. Interesting parallel there.
Very interesting that he could even become mayor with everything that he did in the past. But it's all about the optics. People, or at least
president, right?
The political landscape has a short memory for the most part.
It's crazy.
So it's very interesting that he was able to become mayor. And everything like that. And just love the whole thing about when he is mayor, filling in the pothole immediately. He's like, I give you clearance, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Such a good way of showing how optics are used, with people filming with their cameras and everything. Optics are everything in politics, and Fisk is starting to play this game. And I thought that was a very cool moment.
He's doing a self-serving act because he's like, I want to fucking get to work better, so you guys fix it so I don't have to deal with this tomorrow. But it also is helping the people. So it's like he's doing a self-serving act, but it is gonna help the people too by coinky think.
And then you got the angle of, well, if you're a vigilante,
you're a piece of shit.
Then I will stop you. I will do everything in my
I
power.
don't want no Skull Boys. I don't want no Spider-Man, and not that Daredevil. It's like
A quick disclaimer there on the Spider-Man thing. So both of you know that Sony has a bit of a thing telling Disney that you cannot use Spider-Man in any live action form in TV unless he's in animation under episodes of 30 minutes. So we cannot get Spider-Man in the shows unless Sony doesn't kind of...
Not surprised in any way.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
But hopefully the success of this could potentially make
absolutely insane.
Kingpin and Daredevil be in a Spider-Man movie. Let's hope.
I stand by that. That should be the next Spider-Man 4 movie. I've said
I
it.
think we all
years.
by this.
It's a shame.
I've seen rumors that one's becoming like a multiverse thing too.
Big rumors because
really
Sony really wants to go another big and strong, and it's the worst idea they could be doing.
God, I really hope
they just see green money and they go, do another one, bring back Toby and Garfield. Now this is what the next 3 movies will be about. And I'm like, no,
Bring him the mold.
But why is it coming out in like 2087? Why is it taking? Get back to the point here. His relationship with Vanessa has been shattered, and then he realizes that maybe she's seeing someone else. I know about Adam.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
don't kill him.
Okay. Like,
and in the next episode, he's got a bit of a bloody.
They never addressed that. Which, like, the first instinct is like, okay, I guess he's going back to roots already, which is a weird thing to do because then it's like, well, why didn't we see him go back to his roots if it's already went back? Then otherwise, why? So we'll see if they address it. If not, that'll just be bizarre.
But yes, it'll be a little bizarre if they don't address that at all. But so far, it seems like the show is going to go in a very linear direction, not really jumping back, anything like that. But I think I do understand if someone out there would be like, it's slow pace after that initial fight scene. So I can see this being the critique from people. Oh, it's slow. Oh, it's boring. But then again, what are the attention spans of people these days?
But I'm also worried about that. The rumor mill is that we're gonna get a bit like a slower detective story because of the old script, and that's the thing that's gonna scare me a little bit. Because like I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really want 4 episodes of Detective Matt doing nothing kind of until he finally says, I'm gonna put on the suit again. That will be a little sad. That will be a little
I'm more optimistic. I kind of like
I hope.
both aspects of the show, the detective work, the lawyer stuff, like everything like that. I love that part of the original show, and if they can strike a balance,
sure, I hope so too.
here,
They could strike a balance. They could have realized and placed in those key reshooted scenes
Hopefully that
to make the pacing
ties it all
good.
together.
Episode 2, there was this point, of course, when he's gonna make that choice. We know he's gonna make that choice. We all want him to make the choice to come back as Daredevil. Talking to White Tiger in prison there, like
rest in peace.
rest in peace, the actor, and he says, someone's gonna do it because Daredevil's not around anymore. And he's listening to it, and then he starts following those guys, those crooked cops, and the music starts building. Yeah. That bit was great because he starts feeling, yes, he's gonna come back. We all know he's gonna come back, and if it's gonna be this kind of gradual build-up where you sense a bit of tension to it as well, where it's like probably second guessing himself if he should even do it this way. Should he continue being just a man in the system or not? Same goes for Fisk, and that's of course the parallel where they're gonna start slipping and they're gonna get back to it. Let's hope it doesn't take too long. But if it takes a bit of time, then if the episodes stay on good writing, on good character work, and pacing where you are involved in the world, it invites you into the world, like the B.B. Urich reports and the shots of New York, the music, and all of that, then I think we're going to be on board for a great slow burn that can pay off at the end. And I could even look at something like Andor that started out a bit slow in the first 2 episodes, and then episode 3 you says, oh, this is building somewhere grander.
Definitely like what's it called, but that was methodical thinking from the beginning. Well, this one, remember, is it stitched together pieces, which that is a worrying part.
I get that, and I hope they pull this off.
And at the end of the day, like I said, even if it isn't, I am willing to have patience to wait for the proper new team that I've seen a few interviews that we talk about some things that I know good when I hear it, and from what they've discussed, I've seen like a first episode, discussion between Vincent Cox and these two guys. And
the new filmmakers.
Yes, and they're talking about scenes and filming, and both Vincent and Charlie talking about like bringing back the old crew and all this stuff, and being really happy that they got to bring Karen Foggy and stuff like that, and a lot of the stuff and how they feel about like the first show. I really got to watch Echo though after the way Vincent D'Onofrio talked about it. I was like, oh my god, I really got to watch it now because he really emphasized how that really influenced his performances here.
Well,
very deeply.
Yeah,
so I really got.
I can see that.
I was planning on watching it, but it just like one of those things where like, oh, when's Born Again coming? I'll watch Echo before, and then oh my god, it's this week. Oh well, it's now. And so it was one of those things where life just kind of cut up, and I turned around and there was the show, and I'm like, oh.
Echo felt a bit messy because there was a missing episode
because the rewrites
because
they changed the storyline.
But overall, I really liked that show. I thought it was great.
Yeah, great.
I thought it was really
episodes,
good.
8.
I really enjoyed it.
5.
Oh my god, 5. Easy watch. I'll watch that in a day. Easy.
Yeah, and I love Maya as a character. I love the actors playing her.
No, I was really happy
Really
for
cool.
her.
And
she's a badass.
Kingpin is great in that show.
Great. That's why I really want to watch it. And for the 2 seconds of Daredevil, let's go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm right. So I mean,
No, of course.
So I'm still planning on watching it, but I will say just because of I can't speak because only you two have seen it so far. But from what the actor has said, that it really influenced his performance and where he's going with storyline forward with this, which I say good. If him as an actor is bringing that energy and the lesson or whatever, I being vague because I don't know to this, then I think it will be important for his.
Yeah, because Echo does show you how Kingpin gets to this place where he is now,
so
like making this choice.
See that
you got to see him make the choice.
That's not that hard to watch. Come on.
It's not that you can.
That's fine. No, I'm gonna easy. It's on my next to do before episode 3.
Yeah.
So
and they show off Oklahoma
Wait.
very, very,
Wednesday.
very beautifully. No, next Wednesday.
Oh, in the
for us Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. So you all noticed the tattoo.
That's gonna be the storyline. Well, glad that that storyline is gonna be a kick-ass storyline.
What is that all about? The tattoo
Basically,
of-
corrupt cops thinking they're the Punisher and hot shit like in real life, and then the Punisher in the comics has already like disowned cops that are violent just because they're badasses. That's not what he's about. So that's obviously going to be the way they're going to reintroduce Frank Castle in the show, and I think that's an awesome way to reintroduce him to the world about these dickhead cops that think that they can just abuse their power. because and then have the real Punisher be like, no, fuck yourself. This is not what I stand for and what I mean.
Right.
Did you see the TV spot where you hear the Frank Castle?
I don't know. I've been very not looking at stuff because I kind of want to see how they reintroduce these characters. Which, to be fair, the only one we're really gonna get back now, back is gonna be him. I didn't love Elektra's character in the Netflix show, but I hope she does come back as a character because she's an important Matt character.
Yeah, and that's what.
Even though she's died twice now.
It's kind of her thing. What's her hobby? Resurrection. They have the balls to do the Matt gone missing, and she takes over the Daredevil role for a season. That would be cool. I'd respect him doing that and him coming back, because for a while he did that, and then when he came back, because he ended up taking over the Hand. It's weird. It's old. Comics. That's the simplest way of putting it. He kind of has like the new suit he had, almost like, and he has a beard and everything in that one.
Oh, yeah.
He basically kind of has like the same way they kind of like gave Elektra a Daredevil accent since she took over the suit of Daredevil, and after him being with the Hand, he came back. He kind of had Elektra accents to his outfit. So then having the Daredevil with Elektra accents, awesome. So I kind of look forward to like maybe an evolution to that kind of suit too, especially with the Marvel like doing the whole thing of like, oh, let's make the suits way more like comic booky.
Yeah.
But they still kept Daredevil's one like still they made still a little Netflixy, and I kind of am looking forward to him becoming a bit more close to the
I
comic.
think that's gonna happen. That's shot in the first episode when it's
Very good. I was really happy to finally see him use the Billy Club a la Spider-Man swinging it. Fucking, I was like, yes, thank you, God.
when you see the church in the background, he's standing up.
A high fantasy with it, which is finally, because like when we're grounded with Netflix, I was had that they sprinkle some of that like high reality stuff in there, which they should. It is superheroes, for God's sake.
Yeah, he should. That's how
I was really happy.
he's acrobatic. He's should
Bring
jump.
back that one really kind gentleman with the mustache who made all the suits.
Oh, in the first season.
I love that,
Right.
that guy.
I think I really wonder how they're gonna go about that whole thing, because we had the like suit maker from the MCU, like the flamboyant gay man.
Flamboyant.
But he was working in like San Francisco or something like that. So
But they looked like Matt still went there to get a suit from him, like even though he's the suit
Maybe
guy
it
for
was a temporary
superheroes.
designer or whatever. I want the old.
We'll see.
What was his name? Melvin?
Melvin.
Yeah.
Melvin. I love Melvin.
Almost Melvin. Look
I
at
think
that.
did he die in season 3
No,
or
he
was it
didn't.
like a?
No, he
there was
just-
somebody
we
in a
never addressed
freezer,
him.
right?
No, we just never addressed him after
cool,
season.
cool.
Because he never got his suit back in season 3, right? We don't really or
He did,
I think we
yeah.
discussed it that maybe Fisk made Melvin make Poindexter a Daredevil suit, but that's loose jingles in my brain.
Right. There was something like that.
Something like that.
I hope
Maybe-
Melvin's okay. He's
Yeah,
wearing-
probably is.
in Echo, he wears the same suit from the Netflix show.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah,
and
makes
then
sense.
in the She-Hulk show, it's the same one but yellow.
Yeah, because the design, and then they updated it for the one time we get to see it in the first shot. And this
Yeah,
Born
Born
Again.
Again is more red.
Yeah, good. Thank God.
Yeah.
God, I hated the season 1 Daredevil suit, and then it got better in season 2. And then I was happy seeing the yellow for it. Hey, we got to see the yellow in live action. I was like, hey, I was satisfied to see it. And now going full more red of it, I was like, oh, thank God, yes, red, good. I'm happy to see it more pop. It's just as simple as that. It's just like so fucking dark in the Netflix show. Is like the thing of like I can't even tell. Like at this point, like why not just go full black and do the full black one he had for a while? I will say this much: I'm excited if he ever gets the DD on the chest. We're there.
Yeah,
I've
wouldn't that
been
be
looking forward for it.
Wouldn't that be something?
Even if you just have
everybody
the-
on Twitter is talking
even if
about
you just have even if you just have the small chest piece logo, not like the whole like big one, just to have it on like the breast pocket one. Yeah, look, it usually has it like but like I'd be happy to just have the like a la the Ben Affleck one. I'd be happy with that, honestly. Yeah, just have it right. That no, why not?
But now, Duncan Daredevil.
Whatever you do, don't put it on the back. I hate it when there's back designs on suits. I don't know something about that. It's just same with shirts. It's weird. Why is it there instead of here? I don't know. I hope not. Yeah, you want to fucking see the exactly. It's like putting the Batman symbol on the cape, or I say that because Superman, I realize, has that, but he usually has it on the chest too. So
The people making the shows are saying that it is a bit inevitable at this point that the full Defenders group will return.
Yes, please.
underrated. I'm gonna say it.
Please.
They are exploring the possibilities.
Good.
Jessica
People
Jones,
hated the
yes.
the Defenders. I don't get. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
I
just
love
had
the
fun.
Defenders.
Sorry,
I love
I'm
all
gonna.
the shows. Even Iron Fist. Iron Fist was great. Okay,
I liked Iron Fist.
I get it.
It.
I get what people don't like it.
I don't get it.
I
Leave Finn
heavily
Jones
disagree.
alone. Leave Finn Jones alone.
honestly, Finn Jones. I liked him as the character. Colleen, bring Colleen Wing back.
Oh,
Please
yes,
bring
bring
her
Colleen back.
Misty Knight.
Bring back
Luke
Ward.
Cage.
Bring
Ward.
back Ward.
Ward Meacham. Ward Meacham, people. Bring him back. He's the best.
Ward Meacham. I applauded at that part.
Yeah, bring back Ward.
Honestly, no.
God.
I want all of those characters back. I want Jessica Jones too, please. Like,
Yes,
she's great.
Jessica, I want her back.
Malcolm, yes.
No, honestly.
Everybody. Bring him back.
People
Luke
gave a
Cage,
shit
Misty
about the
Knight.
Netflix, like the Defenders. The Netflix, people gave a shit, and like
Bring back Shades. Shades is the best.
Shades,
I
yeah.
love Shades.
Consensus of people on the internet. I think people are
I've taken some look around.
very much
Yeah.
provoked and impressionistic of each other. Like if I'm telling you, Dennis, that Daredevil Born Again is bad from before you watch it,
You'll go in thinking, oh, I probably
You'll be thinking about
it. It'll be bad, okay?
Yeah.
I'll believe them.
and then I don't want to influence your opinions,
Right.
but it feels like these days you go into
yeah.
Twitter, for example, you see Foggy Dead, Show Bad, or anything like that.
Yeah, I saw some people that I follow that were like more critical of the show and stuff. Like for example, like High Top Films. Like he
I've seen that, yeah.
he seemed
I like this
mixed or like he at least brought up some points of comparison to the Netflix show compared to the to the new show. And I found myself like understanding where he was coming from, and it was in the back of my mind when I first started watching it. Even though I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. It does influence you when you think about it. And there's also like Neb's Good Takes, who I will follow on Twitter. Never gonna call it the other one.
Oh, yeah. There's-
Who said something like how like they were embarrassed to ever have been excited for this, and that was just like that was a very harsh reaction. I was like, oh geez.
Embarrassed.
But I did see that a lot of people were like, man, this is a bad take, you know. So a lot of people were disagreeing. But it's just seeing an impression like that, it was like,
Everyone has the right to their opinion. And
obviously,
it's
yeah,
art,
and
subjective.
I'm not saying that either one of them were right or wrong. Like, there's their opinions, and I think that's great. It was just interesting to see such a reaction, because obviously, it does, like you said, Paulie, it does color the way that you go into the show. Of
course it does.
Even though I always try to have an open mind, you know.
Yeah, because it's interesting because I was so locked into it, watching it. I never had a moment when I was taken out of it.
I was so ready to go. Like I was like, this is my life right now. Today, I want to second.
Yeah, totally.
I was in the world, like it just invited me into it, and I was super intrigued, and of course I wanted to continue watching. I didn't want to stop.
And you know what?
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Netflix model, which is you get to binge it, you get to see the whole season in one go, you get to have the full catharsis and all the emotions. You can't do it here. You gotta wait for the weeks, and we gotta get the episodes. So I think people are criticizing 2 episodes out of an incomplete
They've been
story.
doing this for years now. They've been doing this for years now, and there's a degree of fair and unfairness. And you know what? I'm going to take that back. There is a degree of unfairness because you haven't seen it all, and it's saying just like, but dump it all. It's like, yeah, but that's Netflix's model of doing things, which I personally enjoy because I'm a binge little slut that sits down and watches the whole thing. But it's not everyone does it that way. Blah blah blah. Like but let's say Andor's gonna be doing it great by doing 3 episodes a release. So we're gonna have 3 because it's gonna be an arc basically. Because Andor kind of worked in 3 arcs paces on the first season. And they're gonna be doing that with this one, especially since they're gonna be a year apart between each segment, which that's a little scary to me. But anyway, we'll discuss that in the Andor episode, I guess.
No wonder.
But the big thing with watching a show is that like sometimes people walk in like a little bit like ready to critique, which first of all, fair enough, do that. But there's this one piece of me saying like when you walk in so determined to do it out of media, do you sometimes forget to walk in and just accept the world you're about to walk into and let the show do its thing? And I think people kind of forget doing that sometimes.
Yes.
Like I always say, if I'm going to sit down to watch, listen to a song, watch a movie, play a video game, I'm here to go, okay, fine. I'm going to let go of all of my expectations, let you give me the media you want to give me, and then try to absorb it and appreciate it for what it is you're trying to make. And then I will critique outside of that. But when I first walk in, I want to walk in as positive as I can for any piece of media that I absorb.
Open-minded.
Yes. I think that's my duty as a viewer to do so, to let the creator and to let the team embrace what they've made, and then yes, critique it. That's the whole point. Without critique, we don't improve, we don't make better, etc., etc. But going in ready to just shit yourself with anger at a project and art, then it's why are you here?
But also the other aspect that is really annoying me that I see on the internet is condemning the positivity and condemning the people that are happy.
Oh, you're happy about it? Well, you're just a stupid dum-dum. It's like, okay, and you're a negative asshole.
Yeah, like the comments about go cry or chill. You like it, you're a shill.
Yeah,
you don't like it, you're a hater. Like, what's going on?
No.
Why can there be? There's no nuance. You know?
No, there is
can
no
never be any nuance.
Like,
So
you have to
it's
love
black
it or
white.
hate it. You're not allowed to be neutral about projects. I remember, like, people being like, "Oh, I'm not interested in this. I'm not even going to watch it. Therefore, you hate it." No, I've just said I'm not interested. That's not hating it. That's not liking it. It's uninterest. And no, it's a little insane to me.
I know it's also the consensus of people being mad at Marvel not hitting the ballpark these days.
Yes, and
It's slipping into this. It's slipping into
there
this.
is a degree of fairness because we said it earlier. Marvel's tagline right now is "Whoopsie, we'll fix it next time," and it's
Yeah.
like you can't just keep saying "Whoopsie." I'm sorry. you
No,
can't.
exactly. You gotta hit it out of the, or you gotta
consistency.
Go ahead.
That's the simple as
Yeah,
that. You have to have
exactly.
consistency.
Consistency,
That's
yes.
as simple as that.
We saw Brave New World. I had a good time with it. I've seen way worse movies in general. Does it deserve the kind of hate it's getting? Does it deserve that kind of slander online?
No.
Is it slander against Marvel or is it slander against the movie?
It's a mediocre film, and that's just the simple truth. It is not a film that if it offends you, Jesus, what the fuck have you experienced in your life that something so bland offended you? No offense, genuinely. There's just nothing there to get a reaction out of you. But that's what I mean. It's just it's oatmeal. It's there. It fills you, and that's it. You move on.
A bit cowardly, I would say.
No, I agree that there was so much you could have done, and
Could have done so much more with it, like with Sam Wilson and everything.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Disappointing.
whole angle
I
and
find it
everything.
disappointing for Sam's perspective because it's like this is what you give Sam's big.
Yeah, you basically make it into
Wow.
a Hulk movie, when it could have
Thank
been
you.
so much more.
Yeah, a whole fucking movie that no one asked for, except for people that want a Hulk movie, but they're not going to get it. Universal looking at you.
No, exactly. Very strange, very strange. And by that mention, I mentioned High Top. He did a great video on Brave New World. Highly recommend
I
that
saw
one.
that one.
It really, that one really made me think about the movie and about what it
I plan on
represents.
watching
and
it. I
everything.
agree with his point of the
really
Wonder Deadpool Wolverine movie. He's 100% right. I feel the exact same way. That movie, it's a super fun movie that's super fun, and it says and does nothing. But it's a super fun movie. I love it. It's exciting. It's fun. It's exactly what I want out of Deadpool and Wolverine interacting, but it does and says nothing. It's the truth.
Yeah, but we are at a
It can
weird
still be a
point
fun fucking
right now.
movie, though, can't it?
That's the thing. Movies can still be fun, but why are we so overly ready?
What's a deeper message that explains everything? There's so many movies, buddy, you could be watching that do that. That's the whole point of having, let's say, Marvel, but still having genre-defined pieces within itself. That is She-Hulk. She-Hulk got shit around so fucking hard, and I go, look, if you can't accept that this was supposed to be a sitcom, awesome. And if you think it's a shit sitcom, fair enough. There are so many. I think Seinfeld's a shit sitcom. I just don't get it. It's boring to me. It's just simply put. And at the same way, I enjoy How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Without thinking that every episode is golden. No, the same way I love MASH. That's my favorite sitcom of all time. Probably my favorite show of all time. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Again, nuanced understanding of what the genre of the thing you're walking yourself into. It's like saying, oh, I love, I love the first Iron Man movie. Awesome. And then you watch the first Daredevil show on Netflix and you go, this is different. Like, it sure is, buddy. It's a different genre within the same universe, and it's important to be able to have that. And if you can't accept that, then I don't know what to tell you. Then watch something like, then watch Invincible. Watch The Boys, where there's a consistent tonality of the universe instead of one that's grander, and you can have someone like Spider-Man and Daredevil, the same world, and Iron Man.
And Werewolf by Night.
And Fantastic Four.
Love that.
I don't even know what it's going to be like, but I already know it's going to be different than the rest of these, thematically, generically. And it's just like, guys, fuck. You're allowed to have different tone for different projects, even though they're in the same capsule.
So I think 2 episodes is too little to judge the whole film on.
100%.
Two.
Very excited to see where it goes from here. Like, what the hell happened there? What could be perceived as criticism or like empty character work or whatever as of now could be remedied by the rest of the season, But the first 2 episodes that we did get, there were some parts that I felt could have been more interesting, could have been done better. I want more from some of the new characters, but we're probably going to get that moving forward.
I think we will.
I'm looking forward to it, but for the most part, really, really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Loved the first fight with Bullseye. Loved the diner scene where Matt and Kingpin meet. Like, the dialogue that they share. I was literally sitting in my seat, like, almost giddy. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, this dynamic... It's back. It's in full swing. It's exactly like how it was in the Netflix show. Like, I loved seeing that. It's really cool. And I'm looking forward to the future. I hope they can stick the landing. And I'm even more excited for the second season, which almost to me feels like it's gonna just be the second half of what they're setting up now.
Being confirmed that it was, and because of reasons it got cut. How many specific episodes will this season end up having?
9, and the next one 8.
8.
Oh, 8. Interesting. I thought it was going to be 9, but... Yeah,
9-9.
that's fine. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what they do once they get full creative control.
Yeah, that's the same.
And don't have
That's
to
what
end
I'm
up
excited for.
The second season, the second
Which
part.
they're filming now.
Yeah, they're filming now.
That's what I'm really excited for. Which is why I say, give them a second. And I know this is kind of like every like Marvel shill has been saying about Marvel now for a while now, you know, but every project right now Marvel's been doing is being Marvel's dead, Marvel's back, Marvel's dead, Marvel's back. It's just
We're so bad.
Yes.
We're so
Or
bad.
are we?
We're so bad.
I so far 2 episodes in, I will be tuning in every week on the day to
Yes.
see what they've got bringing in, and I hope that there'll be enough there for me to go, yeah, I still understand why this was enjoyable and was made, and if I can look to it thinking that even if the show what we're gonna get now is gonna be mediocre, if what season 2 will be like 10 times better, then I'll take mediocre now to get like amazing afterwards. Sure, why not?
But this was nowhere near mediocre.
No,
so-
no, it isn't. Not in any
Really.
definition.
If you're forced to work with this choice, that is this opening of having him rediscover being Daredevil again, you're forced to work with this.
Yeah.
Then I want to see what they can do to make it as good as they possibly can.
Yeah.
To make you get why
Yeah.
they need to do this.
Yeah.
So let's give them a bit of a chance here, and I think the 2 first episodes were very strong, even if it's slower. But I think that's the beauty of it too, because it's still 7 episodes to go here. So we're gonna build up. We gotta build up, and we're gonna find momentum. We're gonna
See the Daredevil story escalate. See the Kingpin story escalate. See the hopefully Murdoch and McDuffie escalate.
Yeah.
these people were cast for a reason. I would doubt that they don't, that they stay one dimensional. So 2 episodes in is too little to do that. I mean, and even I enjoyed the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte, and then they dropped the ball for me.
Oh, and as a side note, with all respect to the original actor who played White Tiger, I just want to say, if you had more plans for the character going forward, I'm just going to say it with all my heart, recast. I think it's always important to remember that keeping the character alive and the performance that came before is the way you keep it alive, is my opinion always with this kind of stuff. And I think it's disrespectful when you move away from a character and like that, just like saying, I think it's, personally, I've always felt that way. Like, you know, instead of just going, move on. For example, I feel that way about Black Panther. I like, no, I think what's respectful here is the character, and I personally feel like you honor the people that came before by keeping the character alive and pushing it forward. Yeah. So I do hope that if you did have plans for White Tiger going forward, I hope that you can find an actor to take the role going forward, because I think that's the way you keep the character and respect for the person that came before you alive. So that's just the wise side note I wanted to add there. If there was more plans that they would like to do with him, with the character, I hope that that's the way they implement it, because I think that's the right way to do it.
I like that.
Reach.
And soundtrack was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Cast it. I don't even get you started. Music.
The new little keys they added to the.
I will say this much: I prefer the old intro speed. The thing that I disliked about Luke Cage and Iron Fist theme were just too slow for me, and it doesn't really build up to it fast enough. Like even when you finally get to the it's not as fast key there, and I dislike.
And that's totally to do with him, Matt being sad, you know.
Within that case, then I will say this: I hope every season brings a new intro.
What if
I hope so.
Go the Andor model where each intro has a different version.
I say that just because since they based it also heavily on the mask dropping, then it becomes stone, and then you see the rest of the intro. And I know now all the episodes afterward just start with like the mask and the black. I hope that the intro can be a thematic reflection, and I know you gotta hire those CGI people to make some new intro, but I kind of hope they reintroduce different thematics with each. Like if this season is the world breaking down and reforming Daredevil, Born Again, then even though the next season will still be in the Born Again show, because that's just what the show will be called going forward. I hope that they do a new intro. One last thought. Some shows do this, and I really like it when they do it, when you almost have like a sub-tagline for the season. Mm-hmm. I will say I wish that they would have just called this, if we'd have had, honestly, they just called it Daredevil, and then this one would have just been called Marvel's Daredevil, just straight up, and then had the first season called Born Again, and then the second season, forced to call it something else, and so forth. Having a tagline for a season, I think, is a very strong thing. Not enough shows do. And I always really like it because it almost, that tonality almost gives not only a recognition to the season, not just saying, oh, season 2, but saying, oh, the Born Again, or saying, let's say, Daredevil, The Hand, just off the top of my head. I've always been way more of a fan of that stuff, and I think it really, like, because it almost gives you the opportunity to shift tonality and even your filmmaking style with seasons and shows and keeping it fresh. So it's one of those things that I know the show isn't going to do it, but this is just one of those things I really appreciate in TV, and I think it's something more TV should implement because it can keep your tonality, mood, even storytelling more fresh by taglining a season and understanding that now we're shifting whatever the story is meant to. And I think that this show could gain a lot from doing something like that. But that's just the thought that I've always had about TV, that you can almost, treat it as a bigger entity, but, it's saga on its own, making it stand out more. So I would have done that. I would have done this be the season of Born Again, and then, the next season would have been whatever.
Would have been interesting.
Or whatever.
Would have been interesting.
Who knows? Maybe I get lucky and this gets refilled and I go, hey, yay, that's a great choice. I doubt it.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back talking about the finale of Daredevil, Born Again.
Oh yeah, then we'll have a whole show to unpack.
That'll be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Felt so official with 2 cameras. We got 2 cameras now, people. I mean, we've had 2 cameras for a while, but in the same video.
Yeah,
it's cool.
We didn't even show you the one in the bathroom. We just had that for when Dennis goes.
Yeah.
That's how we convince him it's black.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
See you soon.
Listening.
See you soon.